A little before on the vacuum chamber. Alright, here's the after. Quiet as can be. Improvement here on the pallet scale pallet jack. We are tired of fixing it, so we're not going to try to fix it anymore. So I took that scale reader out of here, found a little plug for the hole for the cord that was there before, and now it is just a regular pallet jack that we will use exclusively for milk allergens. Improvement I made on the air conditioning unit that was out in the office. I sized the port down to a piece of tubing that we had that'll actually fit tightly and won't fall off, and it'll stay with the machine. So hopefully now when we do ever have to use this, it'll be easier not to create such a mess because it won't be a poorly sized piece of hosing going on the back of it. Right, we've got an improvement to our lab coat set up out here. So we were needing a way to separate our allergen from non-allergen lab coats, especially for some people that have to use both kinds of lab coats in one day. So what we did is we picked a spot to separate, and we removed those hooks. So now the allergens will be towards the garage door, the non-allergens will be away from the garage door. To further separate it, we made new name tags for allergens that are red, and so your red tag will be your allergen tag. And we have some spare spots for people who might start allergen products in the future. And then we have all of our unused hooks open, all the names of people that aren't using a hook right now up there, and then all of our non-allergen lab coats down here. So it's nice and separated, easy to keep track of, and we should have tags for every person's lab coat for every job that they might be doing. Improvement we made today is bringing in the lab coat hook, or not the lab coat hooks, the coat hooks from the entryway that was always too cold for anyone to ever use, and put them on this wall that was recently cleared up for moving the mops and stuff to a different location. So now people can hang their coats and their shirts and sweaters that they're not using throughout the day on these hooks, rather than ever putting them on the lab coat hooks, which should only ever be for lab coats.
Okay, this is a quick improvement video. I've been working on building out a supplier catalog with ingredient suppliers for a long time, just kind of slowly accumulating all the data. And one of the things that's been a challenge is figuring out like how to make the information easily accessible. So this is kind of for all those spreadsheet geeks out there. One of the ways that I found to do that, so basically what I have is a master catalog that just has all the information sorted, with these different header columns. And then I found the best way to do this is going to be to have like search functions on separate sheets, because you can manipulate this data by sorting and filtering, but that's a little bit more cumbersome. So I just decided to create separate sheets here where you can search by each different column. So in this case, search by ingredient. You can just go up here and you can search, let's say, allulose, and it returns any value that matches that search. So you might have multiple different alluloses by different vendors, and it'll just populate that for you. So I think that's going to be pretty helpful going forward. Now I can start filling this all in and knowing that it's going to be easily accessible information.
We got an improvement here that Rebecca came up with. So before, with hand tightening these beekeeper bottles, there would be a zip tie that would come here and stop all the bottles so that they could reach and then pick each bottle up and use this little jig that Thor made to tighten them down by hand. But Rebecca realized that if we use the gripper belts to hold the bottles for us, like this, then you can tighten caps down much faster, much more consistently, way faster with one person than even two people could go. So now we went from going 30 a minute to going over 40 a minute, and we have two cappers. Vern just puts the caps in, and Rebecca tightens them down. So good job, Rebecca. Exciting improvement this morning in the Leroy plant. This old washing machine that has been a pain in the butt because it won't actually spin out the clothes, so they're always sopping wet when they're done getting washed, is finally getting replaced by our new one over here. This morning Caleb, Thor, and I have spent a little bit of time on it, and we're going to get it installed here, and it should be beautiful. So something we're doing here in Leroy is posting all of our new cleaning Kanbans, and for me, I'm going to be kind of posting them randomly as part of a fun incentive for people to be going out and finding them, but that's going to mean it's going to be hard for me to keep track of, first of all, where they're posted, and also which ones I have or have not posted. So I need to do something with my map here to make it easier to keep track of what I'm doing with our cleaning Kanbans. Well, here's the updated version. We have a little legend at the top of the map that will tell you what you're looking at, and also we added subtitles on the bottom of each zone that has been posted, so that Janelle or whoever it is that's going to take a picture and gather the cards every week can easily find where each new card is going to be located. So should be a little bit more user-friendly and more operationalized. Alright, here's my before video for today. This is the table where we test the pouches. You can see it's just kind of gotten cluttered, and there's a lot of things here that don't need to be here, things that should be here that maybe aren't here, so we're going to go ahead and work on this morning. Okay, this is all I had time for today, but I was able to get everything that doesn't need to be here out of there, and now I just need to find a way to keep the things here that need to stay here and make it a little bit more sustainably organized. So that'll be next time. Well, here's some improvements that I implemented yesterday on this. I made a sheet of instructions so that anyone can come up and use the PakVac. I try to make them descriptive enough that it should answer almost any question someone would have when they come over here. I also designated a jug of water for this, labeled it, and said how to refill it. Made sure it's one with a cap so that we're not having just open water sitting over here to spill over anything else. But we're not done yet. We still have this hose hanging off the bottom, and we also still have this jumble of pouches here on the bottom that needs more organization. So we're going to try to figure out something for those today.
Alright, so here's a before video. This vacuum filter just kind of floats around the plant because there's no place to hold it anywhere on this vacuum stand, so I'm going to go ahead and make an improvement there. Alright, so here's the after video. Super simple, just use 2 screws just to make a little slides for the filter to sit in there when you're done with it so it's close to the vac stand.
Alright, so here's my last video on the improvements for the PakVac table. I made a few more standardizations here. I labeled a couple of key components from the directions so that someone reading through the directions would have something to reference when they're looking at the unit if they haven't seen it before. And also I labeled the timer here that goes with the unit so that no one would take it, and it's set for 30 seconds, so it's going to be super easy to use, and it's secured there so that no one can come and take it and move it away. I also got specific boxes that we can fill up with the stuff we tested throughout the day, and then we can put these in the break room at the end of the day, and people can take the samples that they want home, and after a day I'll throw them away and swap the boxes out with new stuff. So hopefully this keeps our table clean and organized, and also helps us to use these nice products that we're making that we can't put in finished packaging, but people might be able to enjoy them at home. That's what Harrison and I worked on this morning. We took that fly light that was just sitting underneath the stairs. We mounted it up in the room here. We weren't exactly sure how everything was supposed to go on the inside of it, so we left all the materials right there for Ted. The next time he comes, it'll be mounted for him, and all he has to do for us is just get it all set up the way it needs to be, and we'll be catching flies up here in no time.